Hey, welcome back to the Doc and Dog Show, episode 10, with myself and Anthony back at it again. Anthony's back from his fight, recovering, things of that nature, so figured we'll get back in there. Sorry about the slight delay, folks, but we're back to our normal schedule now. So.
Yeah, well, we recorded an episode that just got lost in the ether because it didn't like work out. And
when you have two guys that are 50-50 with tech, like we're not trash at it, but we're not the best.
I don't know what I'm doing at all.
So far, the episodes haven't been like terrible. So
yeah,
I was gonna say we gotta give ourselves a little bit more
stuff.
credit than credit's due. But
yeah, we're just doing it with two microphones and a phone camera. So I'm happy with it so far.
Oh, dude, yeah, I think like it's like Warren's favorite quote, like with Theodore Roosevelt, like you just got to go in the arena and do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's half the battle.
Yeah, because if you wait until everything's perfect to do something,
you're
never gonna do anything.
Dude, I remember we were talking about then in the middle of January, we were just like, fuck it, let's do it. And
yeah.
And it took off, dude. It was easy. And I don't know about you, but I know for me, like now I'm starting to get, this is like starting to become not work, but fun.
Yeah.
Like other than editing, fuck that. But like the recording and all that stuff, like
yeah,
it's fun.
I think it's just fun to come in and like talk to you for an hour straight and not look at our phones and shit. So I enjoy it.
And it gives a different perspective on stuff. Like I feel like I've been growing on my perception of like how to watch a fight or talk about a fight and like things like that, because just based on our conversations, because I can talk about striking all day, but like my MMA knowledge I think has been leveling up slowly but surely. But you know, let's get to it, Anthony. I guess we can talk about your fight, what you thought about it, things of that nature.
Yeah, well, like looking back on the whole week and stuff, it was like super good week. We went down on like Thursday of that week and then got to Maryland at like 8:00, checked into the casino hotel, which is like super sick, dude. Like I don't really go into casinos very much, but that was like probably one of the biggest casinos I've been in. Like I went to Foxwoods once for an old job that I have, which is up in Connecticut, and that's the biggest casino I've ever been in. But this one was pretty fucking big because like you had to walk everywhere, and it took a while to walk everywhere. So
you haven't been to like a Las Vegas casino then? Yeah.
No, I've never been to Vegas.
Okay. Oh, so for one of the next like world championship tournaments, if you sign up and do one, I'll go to Vegas on that same weekend and it'll be a fun time. Like the casinos there are so much fun.
Yeah, well, that actually might be more in the cards now after I explain why. But
yeah.
Yeah, so we get there on Thursday night. I actually called. Our hotels didn't have a bathtub in them, so I had to figure out how I was like going to cut the weight on Friday morning and even Thursday night. So I called around and found this like athletic club that some local dude owned, and it had like a pretty nice gym in there and like a built-in sauna.
Ooh,
so I found a sauna. Me and Lucas and my brother-in-law Gino were with me. They came down with me, and then we went to the sauna that Thursday night, and I got down to like 141, I think. It might have even been a little lower. And I was completely fine. Didn't really feel terrible at all. And then I woke up around like 139 on Friday, which was like super low. I was like, damn, we're not even gonna have to really do shit today. But then when we got to the athletic club, it said that I was 143 or 142 or something like that.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, well, I guess like it was wrong this morning, but whatever. So we timed it perfectly. I make weight right around like 3:00. I have to be there at 3:30, but we're like a mile away from the casino. I make a little under 136. I was 135.8. It was one of the best weight cuts I've ever had for sure.
I remember talking to you about it like the week of and the week before, like when we were reporting and just training. You were saying everything was just like felt dialed in, diet, everything. Like you felt like you weren't struggling on any of those parts, which is like a great lead up to it.
Yeah, no, and it wasn't like, it was the first, and I'll continue to do this, but it was the first time where I didn't have to like really restrict what I was eating. Like obviously I wasn't like eating like candy or like, you know, like pastry or like just dumb shit that's like I don't need it, you know. But like I was eating like quesadillas and like omelets with like toast and stuff, which like, you know, as you like kind of learn, you like don't really have to like restrict your carbs like all crazy like I used to. So I think maybe that was a reason, but I just kind of consistently ate the same things. So I think that's why my weight was so good.
It makes sense because like I think the misconception is people think that like to do something or like to lose weight fast or do whatever, manipulate it. Like when we're weight cutting for like MMA, Muay Thai, whatever it may be, we're not actually trying to lose weight. We're trying to manipulate our water weight. So like carbs aren't actually a terrible thing. Like you don't need carb heavy, but like you still need some in your body to like be manipulated. So
yeah, I like cut the carbs out like Wednesday.
Yeah.
Of that week. But yeah, so all that went well. We weighed in. The Maryland Commission is super, super strict.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, Mike and we'll talk about like them, like,
which is like I like at my old gym, I had gone and like cornered and watched some of my teammates, and they could only fight in Maryland because they were pros. So like coming up, I thought that's like all. I thought that's what fighting was. Like I thought every commission was that strict, and then like obviously you go to like West Virginia or like Ohio, and like they don't give a fuck. And like so, it's just so crazy how like it's all different like that. But like that, the commission wise and like the structure of the event and everything wise, like felt like UFC level. Like they had to watch me go everywhere. I had to like check in the second I checked in and did my drug test. I had an inspector following me everywhere on fight day. I
remember I remember that was one thing. You went to check out the cage, and the one guy just said, "Go." I remember Will and Mike.
Yeah. Well, before I get into that though, like the weigh-in day was like cool. Everything like they took like they put you in front of a green screen, like give you like some video thing you do like when you walk out or whatever, and then I'm filling out all my paperwork for the commission, but like we still haven't weighed in yet. And that like is the thing that pisses me the fuck off the most. Like if everyone is there, weigh in first.
I agree.
Like weigh in first.
Nothing else matters. Like let us be able to put water back in a like and rehydrate.
And it's not like it's a secret. Like you know, like they're fine. They're not. You know, like maybe they're trying to play it off a little bit. Like we're not dying, but like come on, bro. Like let me get on the scale. That's the first thing we should do.
Weight cutting itself is literally the definition of it's basically dehydrating your body.
Right.
Like so like it doesn't matter what it is.
So I get to the weigh-ins at like 3:30 but I don't even touch the scale until like 4:30. So I'm sitting there for an hour just like sucked out. The lady's trying to take my blood pressure, and she's like, she goes over to like the main doctor. She like reads in my blood pressure, and she's like, "Should we do this after he weighs in?" And the doctor's like, "I think that's a good idea." Cause like I don't have one right now. Like my blood's thicker than like gravy. So like, yeah, that shit just like fucking pisses me off. So like that happened. So they were like being all strict. Like we got to get everything done before everyone weighs in and all that. Whatever. Fight day. Yeah, I check in, do my piss test. And then apparently an inspector's supposed to follow you everywhere backstage. So like, I guess you're not like doing something that's illegal, taking something that you're not allowed to. I don't know. They watch me get my hands wrapped and everything. And then I want to go check out the cage before the show starts. And the inspector's like, I tell somebody so that like they know that I want to go up there. And he's like, yeah, take that elevator right there. Me, Coach Will, Coach Mike, and Lucas are all in a group, and like we all hear that. So we're like, okay. We all go upstairs to this elevator. We actually wait for the elevator for like a good 2 minutes. Like it's just not coming down.
Yeah.
Cause it's like one of those like shaft elevators, you know?
Yeah.
So we get up there to the cage, and an inspector's sitting there. He's like, who let you up here? Like, where's your inspector? And we're like, I don't know. Like the guy just told me to come up here. Yeah. And so I'm just like kind of frozen there. Like, I don't know if I should get in the cage. I don't know if I should go back downstairs. And Coach Will's like, get in the cage, bro. Who gives a fuck? Get in the cage. I'm like, oh, you're right. And then they start kind of yelling at Mike, and Mike's like, kind of giving it back to him, I think. I don't know. I wasn't like really paying attention. I was like actually trying to check out the cage.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, and then like we have another hour before it all starts, and I warm up good. I get my hands wrapped, and I'm warming up good. I feel fast. I'm like having pretty good like mental thoughts, you know? I'm like obviously like a little nervous and like butterflies and stuff, but like that's normal. But I'm like confident, you know? Like I'm ready to go out and do my thing. it's like one of the only times I've felt like that, and probably 2 other times have been the times where I've like been excited to get in the cage, like actually before I'm about to get in the cage, you know?
Mm-hmm.
All the other times was like kind of nervous, like, you know, like not having good thoughts in your head and stuff like that. But that wasn't the case here. And then walk out. I thought personally the walkout was fire. I picked a fire song.
No, it was good.
Yeah. And then yeah, dude, the first round starts. I'm doing really well on the feet. I'm hitting them. I back him up to the cage, though, big right hand that misses his chin by like a couple inches, but it smashed his nose. So I don't really realize that, because the second I threw it, I went in for a double off the cage and I took him down. He's kind of yanking on my head for a minute, like trying to fish out the guillotine off his butt. And I pull my head out and I like posture over him, like I'm about to throw strikes. And then he turned his back to me like right away. So he gave me his back. So I took it, put both hooks in. I get a little high, so I go to adjust myself and I put in a body triangle. And there's probably like 3 minutes and 30 seconds left in the first round.
You got it in pretty early. I was like, oh
yeah.
shit, I was excited to watch that.
I should go walk around real quick.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's probably like, there's through like 3 minutes, 30 seconds left. Like it happened pretty fast within the round. And I put in that body triangle and I'm like trying to punch through some chokes. I'm like landing a little bit of ground and pound off from his back. That's when I see that his nose is like bleeding everywhere, bleeding on me. I'm like, okay, I must have cracked his nose. And then, yeah, I'm like trying to punch through chokes for the first round, like just trying to really control him so I don't lose my position, which like I probably need to work on like a little more of like a finisher's mindset from there, because I had his back, you know? So when I look back at the fight, I'm like, yeah, he did really good at controlling him for that long, but like we need some finishing instinct from there, because I should have finished him from that position. But so that's how the first round goes. So I definitely win the first round 10-9, maybe possibly even a 10-8, because he didn't land anything on me and I controlled him the whole time.
Yeah.
But probably a 10-9 for me. So going into the second round, we're starting on the feet. I'm moving around, trying to kind of just like settle into the second round. He's throwing like some kind of like lead, like high kick at me, which like I'm blocking all of those. I step through on a pretty hard right hand, touch him. I like kind of Michael Chandler, like switch step through into southpaw. We wind up clinching on the cage. We're like kind of flipping positions on the cage. And I like face drag off, like chin drag off the cage. And I'm like kind of starting to circle back out towards the middle of the cage. And he like leaps in with like a left hand, like to my body. And it touches me in the cup. So like the second that happened, I like go to grab at my cup and I'm like put my hand in the air, like looking at the ref. And the ref looks at me and he says that was clean. So like in that little moment of time, Pasco jumped on me, standing guillotine. He like kind of threw some punches into the clinch position that he got the guillotine from, but he goes for that guillotine standing. I drop down to my knees, and I actually get cross body. So like
I remember that.
Yeah, like technically, like I was out of it, you know. And then we're kind of in that Von Flue position where he's still hanging onto my head, but I'm like side control with my hands over him, locked. And I don't know like what I was thinking, but I started to kind of circle back towards his guard, and was actively trying to get his guard back.
Yeah.
And he regained his guard, and finished the guillotine from his back. So, you know, that's how it goes. And I was super upset and like disappointed in myself for a couple of days, just because I feel like I was better. I was winning the fight, and mental lapses, decision making, I feel like cost me that fight. So it's hard to deal with. And thankfully it's been a couple days, or it's been like 10 days since the fight. So like I can kind of look back at it like objectively, you know, not like super emotionally, because it was like really hard to watch the first couple times afterwards, because you're just like pissed, you know? So you're not like really like breaking down the fight how you should. But yeah, that's like, those are just my thoughts on it, like a week removed. And I talked to Coach Will, talked to Coach Mike, and we're gonna figure it out. You know, like it's not like a skill thing. You know, it's not a, you know, like Mike said, it's not like I'm getting bullied around. It's not like it's a physical thing. It's just it's an up here thing. You know, so it's fixable, and we'll fix it. You know, I love the sport. I'll never be away from it. You know, never just disappear. So.
And the big thing too is I think half the battle, Anthony, is knowing what it is. Like, and you, like you said, it's like a thing that you have to like pinpoint, but you know where it is. It's like a mental thing or whatever it may be. It's like up there. It's not like the physical, like you're in a good weight class for your size. It's not like you have to go down or anything like that, because there's so many factors sometimes. But it is interesting, like how you said watching it objectively, because I remember when I watched it live, I knew he hit you in the balls. Like, I knew he hit you in the cup, like, as soon as it happened. Like, whatever, like, I saw that, because you could see, like, that punch. But then, like, we think about, like, that, and then even in the back control, I was like, oh, dude, Anthony had a great first round. Like, you know, you controlled it. But then, to your point, you thought about it one step further after. You're like, yo, I had the back, but I should be able to finish from there. Like, people in your position should know that it's just small things.
Because I don't want it to come off or make it sound like I'm making excuses, you know? Like, I'm just explaining the reality of the events that happened as from my point of view and how it led to that.
Oh yeah.
But being critical on myself, like it shouldn't even got to that point. Like I was on his back for 3 minutes and I need to finish someone from there when I get there.
And that's what I was telling. I was talking to my brothers about it when we were watching, because it was on Instagram Live. There's no live stream, but we were watching on my phone. That whoever was nice enough to like stream it for you.
Yeah, that's my brother-in-law Gino.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gino. Because that's the only way I was able to rewatch it. Because until they put it on the networks, they can't give us a video of it.
Yeah.
So.
But like me watching it, I was like, I explained to like people who don't know MMA and stuff that much. I was like, you know, it's like sweet. Like Anthony has this dominant position. You should be able to do something from it. But then people are like, oh, the number one thing you hear from like a typical fan that's not really doesn't train it, they're like, oh, how's he not finished? Or why is he not punching and doing that stuff? And then I was explaining, I was like, it's easier said than done to an extent. Like you got to balance, and how you were mentioning, like you got to balance, like make sure you maintain back control while doing strikes. And like, there's a lot going on, but it's something where eventually if we want to get good at it, and we need to get good at it, because that's like the most dominant position to have in jiu-jitsu, MMA, whatever you want to say, having someone's back, is having one finishing move at least minimum, and like knowing what you need to do from there. Be it strikes into like, you know, maybe it's like going into like getting the back into like a striking them in the mount, or like just being able to get the rear naked, whatever it may be, but having a go-to move.
I think like I remember the thoughts going on in my head from that position, and I was just like, not worried about getting tired, but I was like, you know, let's not like blow ourselves out trying to finish him right here, because there's still 10 more minutes left, you know? So like a couple times I was actively trying to punch the choke through or something like that, or like I actually had a pretty like, I wasn't under his chin, but I was like making it super uncomfortable, and I kind of cranked on it for a couple seconds. But like doing that too many times and like not having anything to like sell out for is like, I just wanted to be careful about that. But, you know, maybe it's not the correct thought process there. Maybe I just need to, go, you know, I don't know. It's something that, you know, I'm still going to sit down with Coach, Mike and Will and watch this and, just try to uncover everything that I can from it. And
it might be like as something as small, or like not small, but like simple as like being like, hey, maybe get my gas tank well enough where I can make these attempts, knowing that I won't blow out and I have 10 more minutes left, or something like that. There's just like small tweaks that you'll know with your own body and your own training.
Yeah.
And that's the key. But honestly, like I will say this as a friend and like training partner, and just like watching this whole camp from like beginning to end, like when we knew it was happening, I think you came into it, like the prep was great. Like, honestly, I think like you couldn't have prepped better than what you did.
There's no, there's nothing to like pinpoint and be like, that's why from before the fight. Like everything was, I wouldn't have changed anything except for like maybe grappled a little more.
Yeah.
Just being in like positions more often. But like that's really hard to do until the fight happens and you realize the positions that you were in like afterwards. You know what I'm saying? So like,
yeah.
Everything was perfect, and there's nothing to blame it on other than my mental. You know, it is what it is. Like,
for sure,
just gotta fix it.
Yeah, but I will say, like, it's always good. Like, you want either like, you always want something like after a fight to be like, yo, this is what I got to work on. And sometimes it's harder to come from wins than they are losses. But at least with this loss, you know, you pinpoint what you want to do next. So.
Yep, and we'll be back. You know, I want to be active, so probably fight multiple times this year. So just a hiccup, we'll be back.
Yeah, it's no big deal, dude. Honestly, the harder you fall, the faster you come up. So like, bro. That's the come up will be nice.
It's crazy, like how like common these cliches like happen just in life. Like it isn't about how many times like someone can fuck you up. Yeah. It's like, you know, are you gonna fight and fix it and do what you can, or are you just gonna accept that shit? So
exactly. And then like no one wants to just like roll over, so that's not gonna happen in this dojo.
No.
But so what more on a high note, like one thing I know, because we haven't been consistent this last couple weeks, but the first picks that we tracked was from the 2 cards ago. It was like the Brady Edwards card. We actually went a surprising 5-1. Honestly, I'll say that's a surprise to me, like 5-1 for us.
Yeah, fights are kind of hard to pick.
Oh yeah, for sure. And like the only one we lost out on was your boy Jordan Vujovic.
Yeah,
and that's a tough one, because that was like the same. Oh yeah, actually you're rocking the same shorts too. Actually,
yeah, these shorts are fire, bro. I won't wear these until I get tired of them.
Yeah, no, but like we did pretty like solid, like just tracking the wins. Like it was like Nathaniel Wood, we picked him. Vujovic lost. Alexia, we got. The controversial pick I know I had with Kevin Holland. I just picked Kevin Holland, but I think Gunner. It's so funny. Like I think like 8.
I think I picked Gunner.
Yeah, but 8 or 9 times out of 10, like I think Gunner wins. But he just wasn't about it that fight. I don't know what it was. But
he's getting a little up there in age too. He's probably just like not as hungry as he used to be.
My thing is, and it's not even like anything like specific strategically or anything like that. I was just thinking the mental game where like Holland doesn't like not put up a fight. And I think he was always ready to bang.
Yeah, he's no bitch. He's gonna go in there and scrap.
And the Gunner came out flat and Holland took advantage.
Yeah. Yeah, he hit him with a super clean one too. I was like, ooh. Yeah. Nice.
And he kept up with the grappling. Like, like I remember
he's a black belt.
Yeah, no, but it's like, and it's funny too. But like, Gunner's so good, and like he was like carrying him with his whatever that was. It's just like it was a fun fight to watch. Actually, it was like a favorite one to watch.
I was bowling when that was going on. I was watching that like on the side, and I was like trying to break 100. It was tough.
Yeah, dude, breaking 100's like rough.
Yeah, dude, especially when the bumpers aren't up.
Dude, it's funny is you know who loves bowling actually? Raj.
Really?
The bowler. Oh,
dude, we should all go bowling.
Yeah. And then
that'd be so far.
Oh yeah, dude, it's a fun activity. It's just like chill. You just throw balls. It's easy.
Yeah, dude. And I was buying beers and shit. It was fun.
No, for sure. Then we picked Carlos Olberg. I think you might have. I don't know if you had Jane or not, but I just made our official picks my picks because I'm like that. Olberg, who won? It was not. As fun
I think I did think Olberg was going to win. Maybe
it wasn't as fun of a fight like as I was hoping. I don't know. But it was just like Olberg. I think did enough to win. And then, dude,
I actually didn't watch that fight.
Yeah, but Brady though, he manhandled Leon. Leon just like I think we were talking about it on a previous pod or whatever. Leon's like, when he's on, but when he's not on, he's not there at all. And sometimes he doesn't feel, I don't want to say he doesn't feel like fighting, but sometimes he's not there and he just like.
I think Leon has like I don't know, it could be something similar to like myself where he's just sometimes not in a good headspace when he's walking out, and it kind of translates to his performance and like his effort in the cage.
It seemed like it was a big effort then.
You know? Yeah. But then I also kind of think about, because I follow the fight dietitian on Instagram, and I always see the meals that they're giving him on fight week, and I'm like, that's like a lot of food.
Yeah.
Like, I know they probably know way more than me.
Yeah.
But I'm just sitting there looking at, I'm like, that's like blah, blah, blah calories, and he's eating like 3 or 4 times a day. So I'm thinking possibly he has a ginormous weight cut. Like he's cutting a lot more weight than he should or need to, maybe. and like that's kind of zapping him in the cage. But I mean, he hasn't looked good since he beat Colby, and he beat Kamaru pretty handily the second time. But the first Kamaru fight, like he was out of that fight. He was not mentally there.
Yep.
You know.
And then even the second one when he won the title, it was you never want to say like he was losing 4 rounds, and then he got to finish. He knew what he needed to do and did it. But like it wasn't like he was amazing.
Yeah, the Nate fight. Remember the Nate fight? Like I feel like he could have finished Nate if he pressed.
He wasn't pressing out.
Yeah, I feel like he could have finished Nate if he pressed him.
He's like Jekyll and Hyde and Jekyll to me. Like either he's either on or he's off. Like I haven't seen him like in the middle or anything, but he's either been about it or not been about it.
He is still like what? He's like 20 something and 3 or 4. Like he's still world class, but probably at this point and the way the division is, he's probably not getting a title shot ever again.
I think they're like too grappling heavy, and they're just like bad matchups for him.
Yeah, and he would need to string together probably like 3 or 4 wins in a real tough division.
So like he can't fight Brady now because he lost. Like Brady's going to be above him, Shavkat's going to be above him, and then Bilal. So like I think those 3 are all bad matchups.
Ian Gary versus Prates, whoever wins that's probably going to be over Leon.
Yeah, I will say this: if Leon is on, I think he could beat Gary.
It would just depend on,
because I don't think Ian takes him down, and so if they stay standing, I do. I think Ian can take him down. And I think Ian could outpoint him, and I think that might start to discourage Leon. Yeah, but I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully he's not done, because I do like watching him fight. Like if you understand striking, you understand that Leon's like a very high level striker. Yeah. So yeah, hopefully he gets a couple more fights. I will say though, so now like with the welterweight like championship fight is interesting to me. I think like I'm excited for whatever matchup happens, even if it's Shavkat versus Belil, or if Shavkat's still hurt and can't fight, Belil versus Brady, because I think that rematch will be good. I think Brady will be about it, because if Brady comes out like he did in this Leon fight, I think it's going to be one. Because I think, and maybe you will disagree with me or not, but I felt that the Brady versus Belil fight 1 was Brady was just like kind of came out flat. I don't think he was like
it could have been some of that, and like every fight's going to look different, even rematch. Yeah, and but here I think people. Did you see that video Buckley made? No, dude, I gotta show you this. Hold on. It's so hard, bro.
Yeah. While you're looking up that video, one interesting point you make though about like I want to bring up like the fight dietitian thing with like the food cut, because like you are right, like big weight cuts do matter. Because it's interesting. There was just a reel up with him about Volk's weight cut, where like on it, like when he's training in camp, his calories fluctuate between like 2,300, 2,400 to like 3,000.
Yeah, it's a lot
for Volk. This is for Volk. And then he goes like on the heavy train days, they eat more towards 3,000. On the maintenance and low days, they eat like his maintenance calories was like 2,300.
I like that player with that's a gut win. Because that was nice to believe in his tennis. I know Law is here. That's why I like to play with things. One thing. He's had fucking time, man. A shameless manufacturer. And how weight gets back. I think it is.
Dude, Buckley was he's
that video's hard as fuck.
Yeah.
But he's also in the picture too.
He's getting up there. Like, dude, he's winning fights that he needs to win. Like,
yeah.
If he keeps on doing it, like, yeah. Because like
they should do Bilal versus Buckley, and Buckley fights the winner of Prates and Gary. And then they should do Bilal versus Shavkat. That's what I think. Because Shavkat is out for a minute, but he's probably like almost back.
Yeah.
So that fight should probably happen before like the fall. kind of can't really give Sean Brady, in my opinion, can't give Sean Brady a title fight right now because he got smashed by Law.
No, I think Brady fights the winner of like Gary, like how you're saying, like Gary, or
Yeah.
if like Shavkat's coming back in time. I think the only reason they might give Brady a fight for the title is if the Shavkat's injury is more serious than we think.
You got to give Buckley a fight, though.
Yeah.
Like, where does he go?
See, it's interesting is I think you give him Leon. I don't know if Leon wants that, but you just give him Leon. Because if he beats Leon, that puts him up there still, too. Even though Leon is on the down.
Yeah, but if you're Buckley, why would you take Leon? You should be fighting a title eliminator. That's my only thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I want to see it, though. That video fucking hypes me up.
No, yeah, for sure. But, you know, going back to, like, you know, we have UFC, like, 314 now this week.
We got 6 minutes.
Yeah. We got UFC 314 coming up. This one's going to be, this is just a banger of a card, dude. Like, I think, like, almost top to bottom.
Dude, I didn't realize how good this card was until I started watching the embeddeds, and I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah,
They got
dude,
Pitbull versus Yair.
Yeah, the main card's going to be fucking sick. So we'll just start off, you know, I like going from the top bottom because I'd rather talk about the banger cards. Let's, and I'll keep track of our picks.
Hell yeah.
Volk versus Lopes. Diego. It's interesting because, like, here's the thing. Diego is a tough matchup. He's young.
How old is he?
He's young, hungry. Like, dude, no, actually, he's not that young. He's 30. He looks younger than he is. I think it's that Hispanic blood in him, dude. Like, he just looks younger. He doesn't show age. But Volk is 36. My gut is telling me Volk wins.
My gut's telling me Lopez.
That's okay. Yeah, I mean,
coming off of 2 knockouts, one of them was very bad. Like, Ilya put him out.
Yeah.
And just that there's that stat that, like, guys over 35 coming back to fight for a title, like, it never works out.
Oh yeah. My thing is, I don't know. I think Volk is just one of those dudes.
Mm-hmm. He is that dude.
That I think he has it, and maybe AJ is catching up. But I still think about the Volk that dominated Max Holloway.
Yeah, but he's not there anymore.
Yeah,
that's a different guy.
Yeah. And you're right. It could be the chin and the fighting so quickly, like it's finally wear on his body. But maybe this little bit, he's had more of a break this time, so maybe it's recovered enough.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully.
I think okay, but I'll make note of it. So you'll go Lopes,
I'm going
Diego Lopez, and I'm going Volk.
And I love Volk. I hope Volk goes out there and proves me wrong. That'd be cool. But just my gut's telling me Lopez.
Yep.
And then what's the co-main? Is that Michael Chandler versus Patty? Is that 5-rounder?
Let's see if that is a 5-rounder, but it is Patty versus Chandler. I don't know if it's a 5-rounder.
I want to say it's 5 rounds. I'm going to go Patty Pimblett.
You can go Patty.
I'm going to go Patty Pimblett.
It is 5 rounds.
Yeah, I'm going Patty Pimblett.
But
Patty is going to get cracked, and Michael Chandler is going to gas cracking him. And then let's look at...
it's funny. Patty is the favorite.
Yeah.
Minus 155.
Let's go back and look at his loss to Charles Oliveira. Charles used jiu-jitsu the whole time. I think he got a real tight body lock, body triangle, like pretty often. So I'm going to go Patty because Patty's jiu-jitsu is probably on par with Charles.
And my thing is, I think Patty is a better striker than Chandler.
Yeah.
So, like, I think, like, when Chandler's only avenue is wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
But Patty doesn't mind being on the ground because of his jiu-jitsu. Like,
right.
I'm not saying he wants to be on the ground, but, like, he can get out of it. Like, he knows, like, that. I agree. I think Patty.
Yeah.
I don't think it's, like, an easy Patty, and I got to, like, figure out if I'm going to put Patty in any parlays, but my official pick is Patty.
It would depend on his line.
Huh?
It would depend on his line for me.
For sure. And, like, minus 155 I actually like. I think I might put that in a parlay, especially, like...
Yeah, I would.
For you, because you're going to Diego Lopez, too.
Mm-hmm.
He's plus 105, but he's on the plus side. So, like, now, and you like that. So, like,
I should get that in today before the lines change.
Yep. All right. This is my low-key, I think, going to be the best fight on the card.
Okay.
The next one. Yair Rodriguez versus newcomer Patricio Pitbull from Bellator. You see, it's funny. I'm going Pitbull. I think, like, that he's had a layoff a little bit.
Yeah.
He hasn't fought, but I think, like, I know he was fighting in Bellator and all that stuff, but like he dominated dudes at Bellator.
He did.
Yeah.
He
Like,
did.
and he's just like been through the ringer fights, all that stuff. Like he's a little bit older, 37 to 32. And there's a massive height difference. 5'11" to 5'5".
How do you think a fight between Max Holloway and Pitbull would go?
I go Max. I think Max.
I think I would go Max too, and I think Yair had a 5-round dogfight with Max.
Yeah.
So I just like that's probably the wrong way of looking at it, but I do like think of it in that sense. It's just the UFC competition is not Bellator competition.
No, you're not wrong.
You know?
But it's not like Pitbull was like losing to the Bellator competition.
No.
He was on top of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting, but I'm probably gonna go Yair.
I'm going Pitbull, and especially the plus 160. Like that, I like
That's
the
a good
odds
line for
on that
him.
one.
That's a good
Then
line.
this is going to be, I think, the biggest mauling on the card.
Mhm.
Gene Silva versus our boy, Nazi believer, Bryce Mitchell.
I'm gonna go
It's Gene Silva, easy for me. Like odds-wise, I might not bet on it because it's minus 250, but I think Gene.
for Gene.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Bryce Mitchell unanimous decision.
You're going to go Bryce.
Yeah.
See, I think it's these fighting nerds. I think they're just going to know, like, and Bryce has been, I think, knocked out clean too many times. It's going to take one good punch,
Yeah.
and I think he's done.
All right, last fight.
And then the last card on the main event, Nikita Krylov versus Dominic Reyes. Nikita is minus 180. It's a light heavyweight fight, so it's going to be big boys.
Nikita
banging.
Krylov.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's 33, 35, Dominic Reyes. He's just also, I think, like Karloff has like many more fights.
Any good prelims?
Yeah. But I think I'm going to go Nikita. Are you going to go
Yeah, I'm
Nikita?
gonna get Nikita too.
All right. And this is two good prelims. One old age, Jim Miller versus young gun, Chase Hop. Ooh.
Okay.
That one I'm not going to bet on because it's minus one.
I'm gonna go Chase
850. It's Chase Super
Yeah.
is minus 850, but I think Chase wins. And then the final fight of the prelim, Danny Ig or Age, I'm going to butcher
Danny
that.
Iga.
Yeah. Versus Sean Woodson. I'm going Sean
Danny
Woodson.
Iga.
Oh, you're going to go Iga?
Yeah, Danny Iga.
Yep. Perfect.
Thanks
All
for
right, that's
listening.
our picks. Let us know what you guys think. Hit us up on Instagram. Follow us on YouTube. Talk to you next week.
Peace out.